up, guys? Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. So today, let's do something a little bit different. Let's take you behind the scenes of one of my workouts and actually bring you inside my head. It can actually be a pretty scary place to be, I promise you. But if you're in there, you'll also see what my mentality is when I'm attacking my workout. And I think that when you're working out, you should have a focused mentality on what you're doing. Have a game plan. And for my leg workout today, it's actually pretty easy. While there might be a lot of thoughts up here, there's not a lot of thoughts on what I'm doing. I'm only doing two exercises, the deadlift and the Bulgarian split squat. Two of my favorite. The deadlift I'm looking at as more of a posterior chain leg exercise. And again, I always feel it's a leg exercise as you're pushing primarily off the ground and then finishing with your glutes. And then of course my favorite quad exercise, the one-legged athletic, very athletic Bulgarian split squat. So I'm going to take you through, I'm just going to talk my way through the workout and give you the thoughts that were in my head at each step so that you might be able to grab something or grasp something from them, okay? So let's start right here with the deadlift. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is that I don't have sneakers on, and I've talked about in the past my flat feet, my flipper-like flat feet. But in this case, when doing the deadlift, I actually think it really helps me because you're going to want to have as much feel of the ground as possible to execute the initial part of the lift in the deadlift. Remember, this is a pushing exercise for the first third of the movement, and you're basically doing a standing leg press. So you want to be able to feel the ground, grab as much force out of that ground as you can, and transfer it up through your body, and that's what I do. Now, the second thing is, before I even initiate a rep, I actually try to grease the groove, and I think it's really important that you try to do this. If you have any mental cues that you use in any of your lifts to make you perform them more efficiently, then do them as a pre-lift routine. And I do that here all the time with my lighter lifts, especially as I'm just getting started in the workout. So I think there's two parts to the deadlift. We've covered in another video all about this. There's a hip hinge until your hands are at the level of your knees, and from there, simply release your knees and let your body drop down to the ground with maintaining that same amount of hip hinge. The last thing I want you to notice is on these sub-strength reps, I don't go for a lot of reps because that's wasting my time. And if your goal, as mine is in this workout, is to improve your strength, you should be trying to do higher quality reps with a lot of weight as opposed to lifting and accumulating mass volume with lower weight. These 135-pound reps are far away from the productive reps that I'm going to need to be focusing on in this workout. Okay, next I loaded up to 225, and again, very, very simple. The goal here is the same. The goal is to groove the movement, and then the goal is to keep these sub-strength reps, these sub-quality, not quality in terms of their performance, but their intent along the lines of my goal. They're not about strength, so don't do a lot of them. There's no need, again, to accumulate volume here at these lower reps if this is not what you're trying to shoot for. Then as I make my way up the chain now, Sentimental Jeff comes out and I grab my Weider 44-pounders. That's right, these Weider plates are actually the ones that I first had, the very first set of barbells and dumbbells that I ever had. This was them, and I actually still have them to this day. I think a lot of you guys out there watching can probably relate to that. So I'm not actually doing 315 here. I'm cheating myself out 2 pounds, but that's okay. For sentimentality, I'll take it. That's 313. And one more time, guys, you'll see that. I know I can go higher than this. There's no point in me trying to do 9, 10 reps here. Not with the intent of trying to increase my strength. And again, that is the major focus for me in this workout, is to try to increase my strength. So I'm going to need all the resources and energy I have when I get up to these higher weights in the next couple sets. Okay, now we're getting to the point where it's really starting to matter for me. Now I am putting on 403. Okay, so at 403, I'm getting closer to where I can kind of max out on what I can handle or what I'm approaching and trying to handle in this workout. And for me, I'm trying to add one more plate to what you see here. But until then, now what I'm trying to do is, now that I got heavy weight in my hands, at least for me, remember, heavy is relative. Heavy is only relative to you, your strength levels, and the goal that you're trying to achieve. And for me, right now, this is starting to feel heavy. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to count. And I always advise you guys, don't count. Even when you have a rep range in your mind, if you're trying to work in the 3 to 5 rep range, you know where that is and what weight's going to put you there. But don't necessarily count. Because if I count to 5 and I could do 6, then do 6. If I count to 5 and I'm trying to go for 5 and I only do 3, but I do 3 really high quality reps, don't be so concerned about that. The idea is make them count without counting reps. Does that make sense? That's my mindset all the time. Make them count without counting reps. Do that here on these sets here, and you're going to get much more out of them, I promise. Okay, and finally, now we're up to my goal, which was 5 plates today. And with those extra 2 Weiders that I had there, that original 225-pound set, now I'm pushing myself up to, I believe it's 491, as I'm a few short here of 495. But the idea here is, guys, now I'm trying to see what I can get. And again, I'm looking for a few reps. If I can get 2-3 reps, I'm good. And as I approach the bar here, I want to make sure, again, I reinforce that groove. I try to visualize it in my mind here before I even go for the rep. Now, as I go for it, I gotta admit, I'm not feeling all that great today. We're actually getting ready to move here from my house. I spent the whole day yesterday packing. My back was humming just a little bit. My knees, obviously, if you guys have been following for a while, know that they're pretty much trash. But it doesn't stop me from attempting what I'm trying to do here. And as I go for it, I feel pretty strong. I get the first rep. I get the second rep. I kind of feel like if I go for the third, I may not come back up. And it might end kind of miserably. So what I do is I just drop it. See, I'm not so obsessed, guys, here with trying to push myself to unrealistic levels if I don't feel like I have them. For me, today, it didn't feel realistic for me to try to go for that third rep. And the repercussions of trying to do that might have been pretty ugly, like I said. Okay, next up, my favorite part of the workout here. Now we're gonna shift the focus again from the posterior chain to the anterior chain. And here we're doing the Bulgarian split squat. I love this exercise. I've talked about it many, many times. It's a very athletic move. We have a single leg movement and we have a split stance. And the split stance is going to help us sort of recreate and reenact that athletic position that we're going to find ourselves in if we do anything athletic. And if you're not even an athlete, let's face it, you're still going to find yourself in this position daily, just walking, running, or doing whatever else that you do. Okay, so it's a very functional position. But you got to build strength here, and strength is my focus again in this part of the workout. So I'm going to start here with 40 pounders in my hand. And the key here is, again, I want to feel the movement. I want to go through all the way to the bottom and come back up. And you'll notice that one thing I'm trying to do here is just lean forward. And the lean forward is to help pre-stretch my glutes and to get me in a good position to do what I'm going to do next. And that is grab the 60 pounders and actually now have myself in a position where I can use one of my best cues here on this exercise to drive myself up. And that is to actually, as I'm getting ready to lift out of the bottom position, the position that most of us will get stuck in, I try to drive my chest forward. I can do that because I've already leaned forward. Now I got to go back the opposite way and drive myself out. Let my chest come forward. What I'm doing is I'm getting a more upright trunk, so I'm going from this position to this position. That will load the quads up more. And it'll also take our glutes that were pre-stretched and have them help us get out of the hole right as we come up and out. So again, we're kind of pre-stretching the glutes, get a little bit of a contraction out of them, and then quickly go to our quads to let them help us get the rest of the way up. It helps me to power out of the hole and handle weight that I never thought I really could as I work my way up the chain. So speaking of that, we go and we grab the 80s. And again, now I'm kind of working myself up to that heavy range for me. And as I do this, my focus is, again, keep the reps with high quality, make them count without counting. So here I'm going for, I run up with about, I think 5 or 6 reps. And again, I'm going for high quality reps. I'm trying to execute that technique that I just talked about, even as we get heavier and heavier. There's no point in trying to groove that at a lighter weight and then abandon it when it actually gets heavy and you need it the most. So I do that. And I just work on getting a good set. And then I focus on getting to my work set. And here with my ATHLEAN blocks, I get it up to 95 pounds in each hand. I come down. Again, I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying to drive my chest forward and pop up out of that hole explosively. Work on my strength. I don't care how many reps I get here. If I get 3, I'm happy. If I get 4, great. If I get 5, even better. But the idea is I'm not really counting. Okay, you'll notice also as I get to the end of the set here, try to end your set with a nice slow eccentric. Prove to yourself that you got there because you earned it. You didn't cheat your way up, you actually muscled your way up, and then you earned it because you can actually control it on the way back down. And that's what I try to do here at the end of my heavy weight. I even did it back on the deadlifts too. But that's my kind of mindset, guys. As I attack the workout, I have a plan. It's not just throwing exercises together, and the simplicity of this workout is perfect for this explanation because it shows you that even with just 2 exercises that I'm doing, I'm really focusing on the game plan. And if you don't have it, I say all the time, if you don't have a game plan when you go to the gym, you're just working out. You want to go in with a plan, and that's called training. And guys, if you want to train, and like I say all the time, if you want to train like an athlete, head to ATHLEAN-X.com right now, and I'll show you how to do that day by day. I'll give you the game plan, the blueprint that you have to follow to get from point A to point Z. Okay, I can take you a long way if you follow what I'm telling you to do. You can do that, guys, at ATHLEAN-X.com. In the meantime, if you like this video, again, I just figured I can maybe bring you guys behind the scenes a little bit because you've asked for it, and at the same time give you a leg workout because you asked for that too. All right, guys, I'll see you guys back here again pretty soon. Make sure you leave your comments and thumbs up below. Whatever else you want to see, let me know. Of course, I'm listening to you. I give you what you want. You want a leg workout? Here you go. I will make them for you, I promise. All right, guys, I'll see you soon.